Well, thank you, everyone. I am just honored to be here, sharing space and time with you all. As my brother Rashad Wright, who's never wrong, has told you that, yes, my name is Jacqueline Gillette. I am born and raised here in the city of Paterson. I'm an actor, a poet, a producer, and I'm commissioner on an arts exchange here in the city of Paterson, and part of the great family of Word Seed Inc. And I want to share something with you all. Can I do that?
Yes.
That's cool?
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
On the celebration of Juneteenth, you know, about freedom. And I have a piece I want to share with you all. It's really about imagining about what that can be, but also more importantly about who we can be. So, imagine fully living the dreams of Dr. King. Imagine America with no hate. As I contemplate about what life can be and what life I see, knowing that it's not I, but we. Imagine we shall overcome, we came and won. Just imagine if the movement came and they got it done. Just imagine we gave history respect, taught history correct of the actions of the past and its effects. Imagine no malicious manipulations, chasing for interests and gains, causing stresses and pains. Imagine we commit to justice as a matter of faith. Imagine laws for the planet and humanity's sake. I mean, imagine we didn't treat issues like charities and we worked towards a shared prosperity and disparities with the closing by the day. Full-on display, the power of a communal array.
Yes.
I say, no more concentration, hoarding or control situations, feeding, resource deprivations. Just imagine we care less about status and we practice erasing the human hierarchical apparatus. Just imagine we fought poverty and we didn't fight the poor.
Come on now.
Imagine we solved the core issues that cause wars. Just imagine, instead of sending and dropping baby bombs, we gave everybody's baby some baby bombs. Just imagine all the things we can do, things we can pursue, knowing that the atoms in the universe is in you. Utopia is not real, but a better world we seek. A better world is possible, and a better world is in reach. Just imagine.
Kevin Powell is one of the most celebrated political, cultural, literary, and hip-hop voices in America. He is a prolific writer and a Grammy-nominated poet.
Yeah. Right.
Come on now. A native son of the Jersey City, New Jersey. In 2008 and 2010, Kevin ran for the United States Congress in his adopted hometown of Brooklyn, New York. He enrolled at Rutgers University through the Educational Opportunity Fund. We love equal opportunity. It was at Rutgers that Kevin found his voice and purpose. Kevin's writings, ranging from interviews, celebrity features, social commentary, poems and blogs, have been published in the New York Times, the Washington Post, New York Amsterdam News, CNN, NPR, ESPN, Essence, Ebony, Rolling Stone, Esquire, Huffington Post, The Guardian, Politico, The Progressive, Complex, British GQ, and other outlets, surprisingly. As an author, Kevin has written 16 books. His most recent title, The Kevin Powell Reader, which collects over 30 years of Kevin's literary output. Currently, he is working on a biography of the iconic rapper and actor Tupac Shakur, who is not hiding in New Jersey. Kevin is also creating a stage play that will be based on grocery shopping with my mother, his moving collection of poems that he transformed into a musical project. That musical project was Grammy nominated in 2024 for Best Spoken Word Poetry Album. Everybody, without further ado, give a warm round of applause for Kevin Powell. Thank you. Good reading. Thank you.
Peace, y'all. How y'all doing? Can I just sit here? All right. First and foremost, I wanted to thank God and the ancestors for this opportunity. Amen and Ashe. And no matter what you believe in or don't believe in, I just hope we can agree that we're part of the human family, you know, and that these are profound times that we are in. And I just, first of all, Brother Corey Flynn, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. I want to shout out Brother Benji Wimbley, who I've known for many years, but I just need to give it up as a fellow poet. The poets are phenomenal, are phenomenal, are phenomenal, are phenomenal, are phenomenal, are phenomenal. Wow. I could have just sat here the rest of it. I'll come back in October, y'all. I follow words on Instagram, I listen closely, you know what I mean? And it's just like, poetry is it, y'all, because poets are the truth tellers. Poets are the truth tellers. And we know the tradition of our African ancestors, griots, storytellers. We are here, and shout out to Paterson Free Public Library, y'all, please. If it's all right, I'm going to sit down, stand up. I'm not going to do any poetry, I'm just going to talk a little bit. I want it to be interactive. I've been celebrating Juneteenth every day, because it's about freedom, every day. And I need to acknowledge the library, because this is important to me. I was born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey, raised by a single mother on welfare, food stamps, government cheese. Y'all remember government cheese? Yes, and it was good and it lasted a long time. You know what I mean? And, right, you know what I'm saying, Sister Felicia? That poem about the rich was deep. Wow. Yes, it was. It was deep, yes ma'am. Wow. My mama, from the time I was 2-3 years old, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna go to college, you're going to college. My mama got an 8th grade education, y'all. But she was freed mentally by something called the Civil Rights, Black Power, Black Liberation Movement. She wasn't an activist. She wasn't involved in any marches, protests whatsoever, but she caught the spirit of what our ancestors did. Y'all with me out there? Anyone who's an elder, I'll show you, y'all know what I'm talking about. She caught the spirit of it. My mother literally turned 20 years old on August 28, 1963, which was the day of the March on Washington. They didn't have no phone. My friends from South Carolina usually. Somebody know what I'm talking about. I know we got the West Indies in here and down south in here. Shout out to both. Shout out to both. Shout out to both. You know what I mean? And for me, my mama, they were so poor, y'all know what I'm talking about. No radio, no TV, but they heard that black folks were gathering for their freedom, fighting for their freedom in D.C. on August 28, 1963. My mama realized, all right, you know what, because of the racism and the sexism and the classism I've had to deal with as a black woman, all three, and brothers, don't forget that sisters have to deal with racism and sexism. Y'all with me out there? It ain't just about the brothers, it's about all of us. My mother understood, you know what, I may not be able to get a high school diploma, but I want to make sure my child that I'm not forced to raise by myself. When I was born, Brother Rashad Wright in Jersey City, and we might be related, because Wrights are a big part of my family tree in Jersey City. We might be related, we're going to talk about that. My mama had to call a cab in Jersey City to take her to the hospital so she could give birth to me. By herself. That's how I grew up, y'all. I didn't know nothing about no Juneteenth. I didn't know anything about Malcolm or Martin or Ella Baker, Fannie Hamer. I didn't know that we could be poets. I didn't know about Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, and Mary Baraka, who was right from New Jersey. Yes. You know what I mean? I didn't know about Paul Robeson. I didn't know about Marcus Garvey. I didn't know about Mary Clark Doon. I didn't know about the Maroons in Jamaica. I didn't know about the Haitian Rock Revolution, South Passe. You know, I didn't know about any of it. And so when we talk about freedom, when we talk about Juneteenth, I thank my mother because she did the best that she could, or what she had. And little did I know that my mother, when she was saying to me, you go to college, you're going to go to college, when I was 2-3 years old, she was planting the seeds of what was possible. Even though we had no books in our house except the Bible. But Brother Fleming, 2 things happened to me when I was 8 years old that were very significant. I saw my father about 3 times from the time I was born until I was 8 years old. And when I was 8 years old, my father told my mother, he ain't my son. He disowned me. He told my mother, I'm not going to give you a nickel from ever again. My mother was devastated. I didn't know what that meant. But I know I will spend many years going forward with this thing we call the fatherhood. We just celebrated Father's Day. Shout out to the fathers out there. Shout out to the black men out there. Because we do know that black fathers exist. And what I had to figure out, brothers out there, at some point, my father ain't ever coming back, and I gotta be the man and the father I wish he could have been. And when we start getting deeper into this conversation tonight about history, including what slavery did to us. Y'all with me? The other day happened when I was 8 years old, Brother Fleming, my mama took me to the library. The Greenville Branch Library on Kennedy Boulevard in Jersey City. Wow. I grew up in Greenville, the hill as we call it, right? My mama took me to the library. My mama just read the newspapers. You know what I mean? Mama didn't read no books. Yep. Rutgers University, where I went to school in New Brunswick, admitted that black people, just like Sister Felicia said in her poetry, black people built Rutgers University. Free labor. Y'all with me out there? So when we get caught up in this stuff about, oh, I ain't never going down south, I'm going to take it back to Malcolm X, as he once said, South is south of the Canadian border. Because New York City, where I've lived for 34 years, besides Charleston, South Carolina, the biggest importers of African people. You know what I mean? You don't think so? Why is there an African burial ground in Lower Manhattan around Wall Street Financial District? We call it the New York Stock Exchange, but what were the first stocks that were exchanged? But if we don't hashtag read, study, travel, and we don't understand that real freedom is being educated, educated, educated. You don't have to be a book reader, listen to books, you know, or watch stuff, or listen to other stuff. Just digest information. I listen closely to all four poets, because I'm like, they're teaching us. They're teaching us. They're teaching us. Y'all with me out there? Poets are teachers. That's how I started to shift. I don't even know when I first heard the term Juneteenth, y'all. I can't even tell you the truth. You know, I'm not from Texas. I didn't grow up down south. I just know that somewhere in my vocabulary it popped up at some point, probably when I moved over to New York to Brooklyn, because Brooklyn, as y'all know, Brooklyn quietly has the biggest black community in America. There's about 1 million black folks there. You got West Indian black folks, down south black folks from the continent, black folks in the UK. I said, y'all got black folks in London? Word? I was, you know what I'm saying? I was learning, there's black folks everywhere, right? And my West Indian brothers know what I'm talking about, because they came to the States, they went to Canada, they went to the UK. Am I right? Same thing. Black Americans had an internal immigration going on. West Indians, Africans, immigration. Make sense, y'all?
Yep.
Who created hip hop? African Americans, West Indians, and the next folks in New York City together. Those three groups together. So Juneteenth, I'm gonna pass the mic. Can y'all say pass the mic? Can y'all say pass the mic? Pass the mic. I've said what I got to say for now. But for me, Juneteenth is about freedom of our minds. And I'm gonna fast forward real quick and then give y'all the microphone. I started off a long time ago as a youth activist, 18 years old, teenager, a long time ago. This is my life work. And I realized, you know what? I can't just be about the oppression that I deal with, I gotta be opposed to all forms of oppression. All forms of oppression. And I said again, black men out there who identify as a black man, how you gonna say you wanna be free, but then you got your foot on the neck of a black woman? Straight up. You know what I mean? My mama, and sister, say amen if you know what I'm talking about. My mama said she's 80 years old, you just turned 80 years old, she's still saying men ain't no good. How many know what I'm talking about? My responsibility is to be a good man. And I had to figure out over time the antithesis of what my mama was talking about. Does that make sense, y'all? And I'm going to end with my father. Yeah. What led me to forgive my father was all the studying I've done of black history in America, the West Indies. When I was at Rutgers University, my two best friends were West Indian. One was Trinity, one was Bayesian. So I was learning black American history and West Indian history and African history, because they were African graduate students at Rutgers University. I'm like, I need to understand the entire diaspora. Does that make sense, y'all? And I was like, man, this is deep what our people go through worldwide. When I heard you say my Tico baby brother earlier, I was listening. My ears perked up because me and my wife go to Trelawney every year. You know what I mean? And we make our pilgrimage to the mountains where the Maroons were, and to Bob Marley's birthplace and where he's resting. And then we passed by Marcus Garvey's house in St. Anne's Bay. Am I right? That's right. You know what I mean? Because I don't get caught up in I'm American, I'm here. No. We're all connected. What helped me to forgive my father, if I really want to be free, if we really want to be free, is understanding that the very slavery that Malcolm X was talking about, meant we were taught to be breeders, to be baby makers, men, and then pulled away from the family. And not all of us, it's not like there was some sort of mass therapy session happening when physical slavery ended in Brazil or Jamaica or South Carolina or anywhere else. It was just like, y'all figure it out. And some of us figured it out. I gotta be a better human being. I gotta be a better man, a better woman, whatever my definition of who I am is. And some of us don't even realize it's got stuck in our DNA from generation to generation. We call it traumas and triggers now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Those traumas and triggers means that we're not free. We're not healing. When I heard the four poets again, this is about healing. I know what you were saying, Sister Poet Laureate. I know. But do we know? Some of us don't know. And so I had to forgive my father. Because how am I going to be free if I'm enslaved by the trauma of my father, which led him to break away from us? Does that make sense, y'all? So it ain't just about some holiday, which I honor and respect, but also black people, African people, we've got to be free spiritually, politically, culturally, financially, physical health, mental health. We've got to work on those things inside of us that have done damage to us. My wife and I talk about this all the time. How can you say you love black women and you curse someone out, next thing, what you want for dinner, baby? That ain't freedom. About 10 years ago, South Carolina, I found my father's cemetery, his tombstone. I went to it, I dropped to my knees, I started crying, and I got to say to him what I had wanted to say to him when I was 8 years old, 18 years old, 28 years old. I forgive you. I gotta let this go, because I want to be free. Does that make sense, y'all? That's what freedom is for me. Let's pass the mic. Can we have a few questions, comments from people, Brother Fleming? Can we do that? All right, let's just, anyone want to grab his mic?
I'm just Kevin.
Kevin,
Yes, ma'am.
I can't remember exactly when it was, but there were at least 1,000 folks in the space.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were all either government, not-for-profit housers.
In Jersey.
I don't remember where it was, Kevin.
It's all right.
Because we were so overpowered by, and I don't want to say the storytelling, but the truth. And of this 1,000 folks in the audience, I would say 20% were black. The other 80% were Caucasians from all over the country.
Wow.
And we all worked in housing folks of all types.
I remember it was in D.C. I remember that.
Okay,
Wow.
because I went up to Kevin afterwards because we were in tears, we were laughing. There were so many different parts to that presentation. Later that evening, we all talked about how powerful it was that you possibly could have changed folks' mind about how they relate to that 20% of folks that were in that audience and folks back home that looked like us, that needed us. So when I saw, thank you, Corey, for sending me the invite, I said, Kevin Powell? Kevin Powell? Sounds so familiar that I had to come. And I got the privilege to sit in front of you listening to all of the poets today. And community, we have to pay attention.
Yeah.
We have to really open our eyes because your voice that day on that stage telling that story resonated with just not the 20% that was in that room, but the 80%. And it was phenomenal. I don't know if you felt phenomenal. You may have sold a lot of books that, no, actually, you didn't bring the books.
Yeah.
No, because we were saying, you You didn't bring the books,
I remember that.
Yes, it was phenomenal. So Corey, I thank you for keeping moving the needle for our community. And anytime you want to come back, I had my chair of the Paterson Housing Authority Board.
Oh, wow.
She's going to find some money
Let's do it.
to bring you back.
I take EBT cards too.
So thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We're working on more.
Thank you so much. I mean, think about it, y'all. Let's get back to the story of Juneteenth. We kind of started with the Emancipation Proclamation in 2 phases. That's 1863. Then June 1865 rolls around, and they just tell black folks in Texas 2 years later, 2.5 years later, oh, by the way, y'all are free. You know what I mean? And what's beautiful about the story of Juneteenth is that black folks figured some things out. We're going to figure out how to celebrate this thing and honor. No, it's not just Juneteenth. Let's not forget that Memorial Day comes from black folks as well. That wasn't in the history books either. You know, you're talking about folks who actually, when you think about the number of black folks who served in the Civil War, fighting literally for their freedom, you know what I mean? You know, regardless of what y'all may think about war or military things like that, I have to acknowledge my ancestors who were like, you know what, I'm going to actually fight myself for my freedom. Does that make sense, y'all? And so when you think about all of that and all the stuff that we have gone through, you know, as black people in America, in the West Indies, all over this world, I'm going to say it again, we are truly a miracle. Yes. We are truly a miracle. You know what I mean? It's profound what we have survived and what we still are able to create. The 4 poets, the beautiful poetry that we saw heard here tonight, that's a gift. That's our ancestors moving through us. Y'all with me out there? That's our ancestors moving through us. And so when I think about Juneteenth, it's an opportunity to acknowledge and honor our ancestors, our elders that are in the room. I say thank you to the elders. If you're over 60, 70 years old, I say thank you. I say thank you. I say thank you. You know what I mean? I ain't lying to you. My mama be getting on my nerves a lot of times. But she's 80. And I had no idea what she had survived. And so on a simple level, and my friend left a moment ago, but like I'm my mama's caretaker now. And my aunt's caretaker was 78, because like that's my way of like, I gotta thank you for, I wouldn't exist without you. Does that make sense, y'all?
Yeah.
Who else wants to talk?
Yes, sir. Here you go, sir.
What seems to be missing is that a man who don't treat you right is not gonna teach you right. I'm 65 years old, and I've been with Mr. Farrakhan ever since I could learn to read. You mentioned Malcolm, that's down to Elijah Muhammad. That's down to Elijah Muhammad. A Greek letter, Divine 9. At my age, I'm still finding out how vicious the European community is. I don't blame a little Jewish boy for what is going on in Israel. But it's sad, man. I mean, it's hard to come out here to even go shopping. You have to eat. What is going on in this country is just wrong. In one community, you have the books, they're beautiful. But they own those book houses. So everything that's been going on in our community is by design. I will not allow no one to come before me and ask certain things, what to do. No, it's by design. You caught it. A few other brothers caught it. Whether in Morehouse, this year I saw more brothers graduate from college than any other time. And as they came across the stage, obviously they would do certain moves, let you know what Greek did. But our culture is so strong to even now when they stole, they still steal. But if you want to write about something about it, write about and try to find out for our young generation who see this war, why do certain communities act the way they act towards others? Why is it that we're still fighting with all that we've built? And I got to hear a word about the rich to make me feel good. Why is it like that? And the kids today is, how long do community think it's going to go on?
May I ask you a question, sir?
Of course, brother.
And it's not for it's not for ego gratification, anything like that. I want to make that very clear. I believe in humility 100%. But have you actually ever read any of my 16 books, cover to cover?
No, that's why I came here. I never. I
So,
saw
may I
your face.
respond?
Your face is what I saw. I never knew your name, brother.
Okay. Moss number 80, Plainfield, New Jersey. That was me back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to know or research folks.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Because everything you said, we actually agree. You don't actually agree. It's actually documented in that book and the other 15 books, including the poetry books. I'm in the spirit of these poets here. You know what I mean? Which is question everything. But I also think that we all have the right to believe what we want to believe, right? But I think if one person or one organization had a solution for black folks, we would have been free a long time ago.
Of course.
It takes multiple voices, you know, multiple viewpoints. And so when I say Malcolm X, Malcolm for me was my father figure that I never had. And his autobiography literally transformed my life. Whatever happened between Malcolm and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, folks can go ahead and debate that all they want. What I'm focused on is what Malcolm represented for me. I'm like, this brother was in jail for 7 years, and yep, absolutely, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a mentor figure for him, which says that we need mentors in our communities who are Christian, who are Muslims, who are Rastafarian, who are whatever background they are. We just need mentors. We need black men who show up. When I saw the film version of Malcolm X, Spike Lee's film, you know what the most poignant scene for me was in the film, brother, that I still cry about every time I see that scene? Is when Malcolm was about to meet the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he contorts his body. Yeah. And a thank you. And the tear comes down Denzel's eye as he says to Honorable Elijah Muhammad, thank you for saving my life. I'm with proclamations and all of that, but what I'm also with, after 40 years of being an activist, brother, what are the solutions?
That's the key.
What are we going to do? And I'm going to say it again, I think there's 6 areas, you may not have heard me earlier, where I think black folks need to think about real freedom. Spiritually, which is different than organized religion. Anybody can be religious. I've been a Christian and a Muslim in my lifetime. I'm a Christian again, but it's a Liberation Theology church I go to. You know what I mean? Politically ain't just voting, y'all. That's one of the tools, but it means being aware of what's going on. Hashtag read, study, travel. Be able to connect the dots between Jamaica and South Carolina. You feel what I'm saying? Culturally, we ain't in IGGAs. If y'all really listen to the data we're back and forth between Kendrick Lamar and Drake,
Come on.
not a hype of it, not a sensationalism, ooh, did you hear what he said? Ooh, did you hear what he said? But if you actually listen to Kendrick, he was talking about how do we reclaim our culture? You know what I mean? How do we reclaim our culture? How do we get back to Bob Marley and Nina Simone and Fela Kuti and Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin, where there's a diversity of voices? You feel what I'm saying? You don't like Nina Simone, you like Aretha Franklin or Shaka Khan or Gladys Knight. You don't like Marvin Gaye, you got Stevie Wonder or Al Green. You know, how is it that we can reduce culturally over the last 25 years? Here we are, we just celebrated hip hop 50 years ago, brother. What am I concerned about? Solution is like, how do we go from being Africans to NIGGAs? I'm very clear, I'm not a Greek. I belong to a Greek-led organization. I'm an African. I'm very clear, I'm an African. I'm an African. And one reason why I pledge the fraternity that I belong to is because if you look at my fraternity, the symbols that we use are actually African-based, the alphas. I can't speak for anybody else, but I know what we represent. You know what I mean? Because they were created during the Pan-Africanist movement of the early 1900s. And so when I say solutions, you know, like, what is it we're going to do? What are we going to do financially? Me and my wife are very simple about it. Let's just do it. My mom was 8 years old, she has no debt. You heard me say my mama got a different education. I go to welfare, food stamps, and cheese. My mama ain't got no debt because she spent what she could and she didn't waste money and she didn't try to live that. She gave me an example like this is how you can live and not be in debt. She has no debt.
God bless.
You feel what I'm saying? And then physical health, mental health, I'm a vegan. You know where it started for me, my diet? Nation of Islam. How to eat to live. You know what I mean? You know, I remember the first time someone said, don't eat on pork. I thought they was out of their minds. I'm like, man, I grew up on pig's feet, and the bacon was good. And when I got to Rutgers in New Brunswick, they gave us a little milk card. You go, I said, I can eat as much bacon as I want. They said, yeah. I said, word. And it was Muslim brothers like, brother, you don't know what you're eating. I was like, well, I don't know what I'm eating, but it really is good. But over time, what they were saying, the Muslims, what you put in your body, are you treating your body as a masjid, a mosque, a church, a synagogue, a temple, or are you treating your body like a garbage can? That's why so I don't drink, I don't smoke. Have I done it in my lifetime? Name me a head in the hood who has not had a 40 ounce at least once in their life. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. Sugar is everywhere, you know what I mean? And then mental health. And so when I say solutions, you know, listen, me and my wife, when we got together, we're like, listen, here's my family dysfunction, here's your family dysfunctions, we know the history of, we can talk about the history of Black folks, but what are we going to do to break these generational traumas? So our relationship, our marriage is not dysfunctional. We got to practice Black love here. And we got to talk about everything here. You know what I mean? And so all I'm saying is, I think there's some practical things that we got to talk about. You know, and yeah, it's the system, but no one's going to free us but ourselves. Haile Selassie, Marcus Garvey, Bob Marley. Am I right, my brothers and sisters? Who's from Jamaica out there? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? None of us can free our minds. So that's what I think about when I think about Juneteenth and freedom. How do we, you know, because we have dynamic speakers. Man, I'm not a speaker because of the Nation of Islam. They would just say, brother, get up there and speak.
in you, brother. I see it in you.
And the Black churches me too, because I went to the Pentecostal church in Newark, New Jersey. So it's a combination of both. Because I listen to the four poets, dynamic poets, the cadences, the rhythms. We are bad people. But Francis Fanon, one of our great West Indian thinkers, wrote a book called Wretched of the Earth. He said, beware of the dynamic speaker. Because they can say a lot of stuff, but not really saying anything at all. You feel what I'm saying? So what are spiritually, politically, culturally, financially, physical health, and mental health? What is our plan, Black people, individually, me and my wife? We read every day we bring in the house, we read it, we use all natural products, most of them Black-owned products, you know what I mean? So like, we want to support Black-owned businesses, we want to make sure we support Black health. You feel what I'm saying, brother? You know what I mean? How do we move this needle here for us so that we have a child, which we want to do, that we bring a child into a space of Black love. So then I got to go through what I went through, where I'm in there trying to be something I wasn't because I was told that I was ugly. And I'm not even the darkest person in this room, so if I felt like that, imagine how the folks darker than me felt. You know what I mean? And what I'm also saying, brother, with all due respect, is that I just think that we have to look at the lessons that we got from the Nation of Islam, the Black Panther Party, the Garvey movement, Booker T, Du Bois, Mary McLeod Bethune, Ida B. Wells, Henry Hamer, Ella Baker, everybody. Like, what can we take from those different periods and remix it, as we say in hip hop, for the 21st century? My challenge to all of us: stop talking in 2024 like it's 94, 84, 64, 54. You got a whole bunch of, how old are you, brother? And how old are you, brother? Third? Really? Yeah. Black don't crack to it. Which is still young. You know what I'm saying? But how many of y'all here are under 40 under? A few of y'all under 40. A few of y'all under 30. Am I right? And so I'm like, yo, if this, you have two generations now, millennials, I'm Generation X. We got folks who are civil rights generation, baby boomers. You got millennials and Gen Z. Their experiences are different. I can't impose on them like, this is how we did things back in the 80s. They're like, well, I was born in the 90s. Or the late 80s, or the 2000s, and so on. You might want to come to me with a different way of doing this. Does that make sense, brother? You know what I mean? I may have read the autobiography of Malcolm X, cover to cover, 500 pages when I was 18. Guess what? Now I better put some posts of Malcolm X on Instagram, on TikTok. You know what I mean? I better make sure you post. You heard what the post say? Word, seed, ink, Instagram. I went right there. Boom. Let me follow them. Because understand, this is how people receive information now. And we can't afford to be stuck in the 80s or 90s. Like Nas said in one of his records, don't be one of the 90s NIGDAs, you're going to be stuck there. And so I want us to just think about that. When we talk about freedom, you got to remix some things here. It's just a different time. It's a different time. It's a different time. You know what I'm saying? And I think we also got to be conscious of not condemning young people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because young people, just like I can teach young people some things, there's things that young people can teach me.
Yeah.
That's where the humility comes in. And so I work with heads that are 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, 24, 25 years old. I'm like, how do you like to learn? Or what are you thinking about? What are you feeling? Lots of them, like, I go to schools all the time, grade schools, high schools. They would say, how do you get the young people to talk? I shut up and I listen. I don't go in there giving a speech for an hour to why would I do that? You know what I mean? So that's what it is, you know. And the genius of Malcolm, the reason why I keep coming back to Malcolm, Malcolm could give a speech on a corner in Harlem in a hood, or he could speak at Harvard University.
Right.
You know what I mean? Malcolm embodied what we're talking about. His mama was Grenadian in the West Indies, and his daddy was a black American from Georgia. He embodied everything we're talking about right here today, y'all. He was West Indian and black American. He was in the North and from the South. He had an education and he was in prison. Malcolm was our journey.
Yep.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Let me say thanks, Kevin, for coming here.
Thank you.
I think your message is on point. I just want to say, though,
Yes, sir.
the problem that we are facing really is the consistency of the message. The message
I agree.
is not consistent, and as a result,
Yeah.
notwithstanding the different generations,
Yeah.
if we have a consistent,
Yes, sir.
impactful message over generations,
Yeah.
we will get somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Jamaica. Yes, I'm from Jamaica. And, you know, Marcus Garvey is the person to whom I look
Yes, sir.
for messaging.
Yes, sir.
Talk about Bob Marley. Bob Marley looked to Marcus Garvey.
That's right.
Garvey's message was all about self-reliance, you know, and we are trying to be with everybody. And we will never be accepted by everybody. So we need to chart a course for ourselves and know that if we rely on ourselves, put in the work, think equal to everybody, don't believe that we are less than, because we are not. God didn't make us that way. We are just as good, we are just as educated, we are just as resourceful as any other race that God placed on this earth.
That's right.
So what we need to do, and I think, you know, as a people, we need to get our message right.
I agree.
And we need to be persistent, pushing that message day after day, week after week, year after year, across generations.
My brother, my Muslim brother, say your name, brother Victor, he said it. And your name, sir?
Arrow.
Brother Arrow. Brother Victor said it. The system is constantly churning. You know what I mean? And so even when we talk about Marcus Garvey, we know that Marcus Garvey came to America a little over 100 years ago and was this dynamic force. The Garvey movement, I mean, we still have people who are Garveyites to this day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm one of them.
Yes, sir. That's absolutely true. But what was also true is that there were forces that falsely accused them of things and drove them out of the country. But we also know there was internal racism. Even someone like Du Bois, who was a revolutionary figure, got caught up in the colorism. Very fiercely black man, was offended and threatened by this proud black man from Jamaica, Marcus Garvey, and they had a hand in helping to take Garvey down. And so when you say messaging, I actually agree with that. I feel like part of the messaging has to be, and poets, forgive me for a second, I can't remember the poem, but I just wrote a poem a couple months ago called For Black People. The first couple lines, no black love, forgive me for a second. Black self-love, then we get black love. Black love, we get black family. Black family, we get black community. Black community, we get black possibility. It's like it goes through all those different things. And what I'm getting at, part of the messaging that I feel like has been escaping us is black self-love. Black self-love. And honestly, if you listen to Garvey, he was saying, of you mighty race, you will accomplish what you will. You know what I mean? Or, flip it to 21st century, Kendrick Lamar, we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. All my life I had to fight. He took that from The Color Purple and brought it to a hip hop song. Y'all feel I'm going with this? And so that's messaging. But it's not been consistent because what's been dominant is the stuff that's been telling us that we're nothing, that we're ugly, etc. I think we have to have an analysis. Wait a minute, how do we go from the diversity of voices in hip hop? Listen, when Brother Mike introduced me, my next book is about Tupac Shakur. I did 4 cover stories of Tupac Shakur when he 3 released a lot for Vibe magazine, including one in prison, right? And then I was in Vegas when Tupac died. Who's Tupac's mama? Afeni Shakur, Black Panther Party member. Look at his name, Tupac Amaru Shakur. Revolutionary figure, Tupac Amaru Shakur. Where was he from? Peru. Y'all got a Peruvian community right here in Paterson. You know where I'm going with this? But Tupac said something interesting to me when he was alive. Kev, I wanted my music to be on message. The record labels told me that doesn't sell anymore. Now, Brother Victor, you and I are old enough to remember when we were introduced to both Minister Farrakhan, Malcolm, all kinds of people through the music of Public Enemy and other folks. Someone was like, oh no, we're gonna get rid of that. And what was exactly what we're gonna play up. And I'm from the ghetto, y'all. I'm from the hood, y'all. I grew up, yes, Brother Victor.
Most of us are.
Yeah. But we also know, like Ice Cube said famously back in the day, sometimes there are often good days in the hood.
Yeah.
But here's where history is important, tying back to Juneteenth and freedom, y'all. When our people were enslaved, let's sort of say the argument 1619, 1865, which is 246 years. We know black folks were here before 1619, if we read.
Right.
We're going to do 1619. In the 1830s, 1820s, they created something called the minstrel show. Black people are ugly, dangerous, violent, immoral, ignorant. And the minstrel show, blackface, a brother with a face as beautiful as this, or you, told that they are ugly. Everyone in this room is beautiful and handsome. Y'all with me? The minstrel show told us that we are ugly. And it reduced our definition of blackness down to, right? The minstrel show was the number one entertainment in America from the 1800s through the golden era, quote unquote, Hollywood into 1940s, 1950s. Y'all will be out there. And then we get to the 1970s. I interviewed years ago a brother named Mel Van Peebles. He made a film called Super That's Badass Song. Mel Van Peebles had to leave America, go to France, because the Hollywood said, no, we don't, black people can't make no movies. Y'all ain't qualified to do that. He made movies over there. Then he came back. He made, forget whatever critique you might have of the movie. His whole point of making a movie is, I want to see black people as heroes. I want to see black people win. Y'all with me out there? Yeah. What's the great film for Jamaica with Jimmy Clifton back in the day? The Heart? Same concept, am I right? The same concept. Black exploitation film era kicks in. Most of the films we see, we gangsters and thugs. And the over-sexualization of black men and black women. I love those movies. I love the Superior. I love the Mac. I love the Superfly. But when you get a steady diet of the same thing over and over again, am I right, Brother Victor? Am I right, Brother Al? Yeah. Guess what? You don't think Paterson, New Jersey, Jersey City, Brooklyn, the Bronx, no matter where you are, this is all you can aspire to.
Yeah.
Then let's come to hip hop. My beloved hip hop. I grew up a b-boy, a graffiti writer. This is our culture. You know what I mean? You literally have like 4 generations within hip hop at this point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Listen. We got folks out there who think all blackness is because of the messaging. Take drugs, sell drugs, swing from poles. Even though I support sex workers, I understand other economic challenges that our community go through. Man, listen, I can't believe cracker people, they had to do, I get it. But when that's the dominant thing that you're seeing over and over again, I don't see anyone who looks like the 4 poets, hardly ever, unless I have to go to a poetry reading. I gotta follow them on social media. Does that make sense, y'all? Right. So the same thing is happening with the messaging. It's intentional. It's intentional. And then if you go to a school system like I did, back to educational malpractice, where you're learning nothing about Juneteenth, nothing about black history, nothing about the Maroons, nothing about the Haitian rebels, nothing about nothing, you're gonna really believe that all you can aspire to be is a rapper, a stripper, a ball player, or some form of a hustler. Feel what I'm saying? So Brother Darrell's actually right. What's the messaging? But then also, who are the people giving the message? Which is why I go to grade schools and high schools on a regular basis. Not just colleges and corporations. We got to reach heads when they're young. So they can see something else is possible. You know what I mean? And I don't want to look at it as some overwhelming system. I'm like, well, black folks, we just need it. I mean, y'all are banning black books. They're erasing black history. So it's clear to me what's happening. We have to make a commitment to teaching each other. Now, where the message has to shift to me. You've heard me reference black women a few times, and I'm glad that 2 of the 4 poets, do y'all identify as women, all right?
Yes.
I don't want to make any assumptions in 2024. But here I was only one with black history in college. Except for Jordan Hurst and a couple other sisters, most of the things out there were black male writers. You know what I mean? And so I'm saying, yo, we got to make sure that we're hearing the stories and the voices of all our people.
Yeah.
If we get caught up in internalized racism or sexism, ageism, ableism, classism, homophobia, transphobia, well, Brother Powell, how do you say, well, brother, then you need to stop quoting Audre Lorde, James Baldwin if you're going to be homophobic, transphobic. Straight up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stop quoting folks if you're going to be homophobic, transphobic. You know what I mean? Because we can ill afford to throw anyone away. We need all of us. And everyone's contribution is valuable. That's real freedom. In other words, how can I say I want freedom and I want to deny someone else their freedom? Does that make any sense? So I think about that. When I think about how many next to Harvey or Malcolm, those folks, I mean, think about when y'all, who saw Lemonade? Beyonce's Lemonade. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Think about how Beyonce, a sister from Texas, which gave us Juneteenth, samples Malcolm X saying the most oppressed group in America is black women. That's a profound thing that Malcolm said. And then 50 years later, Beyonce pulls that, I'm going to use that in Lemonade. That's gangster. What she was saying is like, yo, we all need to be fighting for freedom together. You know what I mean? You can be who you are, you can be who you are, because your freedom is, you can be who you are. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to, I don't care what your religious background is, I'm not going to legislate. I ain't God. I'm not Jah. I'm not Allah. I ain't got no business telling people who they can and cannot be. My business is, how can I help you to be who you are?
Good teaching.
Do you know what I mean? How can I help you to be free? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So our messaging, Brother Errol, is inconsistent when we're up in arms about George Floyd, but we act like Breonna Taylor didn't get killed a few months before.
My.
The black man's life is more valuable than the sister's life? I don't think so. You know what I mean? You know, so we got to think out, okay, what does freedom really look like for us? And does it include everybody or just some folks? Is it only for Christians? Is it only for Muslims? You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I think about that. Do we have time for one more question or how we do this, y'all? May I? Yes, sir. What part of the are you from?
Union Street, Greenville. I'm over there. Yeah.
Okay. Cousins.
Maybe, who knows? You were talking earlier, you mentioned the dynamic speaker.
Yes, sir.
That's something I'm afraid of becoming.
You're a dope speaker.
Appreciate it. But my point is, for example, I've used two art forms, poetry and performance.
Yes, sir.
Performance means I know how to command a room, I know how to gather attention towards myself and what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
I think a lot of people have that same skill set, but not necessarily anything that needs to be communicated or is helpful for the community that's listening to them. You, as someone that I see and perceive as an intellectual, someone with a message, something with something to contribute. How did you push yourself, or what got you so much attention? How do you gather attention? I think there are a lot of intellectuals out there, a lot of leaders in our community that don't have access to a stage, attention, space, or have people listening to them like we do.
Wow. Thank you, Brother Wright. Well, can I just keep it 100 with y'all?
Please.
I'm actually not comfortable with a lot of attention. I'm not. My wife's an introvert. I'm very much an introvert. I remember when I was a kid, some of y'all who are older here might remember Michael Jackson said the only place he felt comfortable was on the stage.
Yeah. Right.
I don't necessarily, I'm like a reluctant voice, out of necessity. Because I feel like, I've experienced certain things at different points in my life when I was a youth, and even now as an older person, and I feel like I have something to offer. But I'm also very wary of being someone who's just a media whore. You know what I mean? Who's just out there for attention. Bell Hooks, who I love, one of my mentors, used to say to me all the time, you gotta be careful being addicted to the fame plantation.
Right.
The fame plantation, the fame plantation. I'm very conscious of that. So man, me and my wife are out of Juneteenth celebrations with Brooklyn, man. We just we didn't cut with everybody else. I'm not trying to be on nobody's stage. I'm not trying to say, can I get a shout out? None of that stuff, I think you have to stay grounded. Some of us are called. I mean, again, I'm going to keep giving the poets props. I'm going to give Brother Fleming props. Some people are called in a certain kind of way. You gotta follow, am I right, Sean? You gotta follow that calling. You know what I mean? And so you do that, but you also have to remember that this ain't about you. You know, we're vessels. We're vessels. You know, I remember when I got to the end of the autobiography of Malcolm X, I didn't know that he had been killed until I got to the end of the book the first time. And I started crying when I put the book down. I'm 18, 19 years old. I'm a kid, basically. But I remember saying to myself, man, his life was given so that I could be here. And so I'm like, that's what I look at it. You know, while I'm here, I hope to live a long life, Brother Wright. But how long or short I got, I just want to be of use to other people. Does that make sense?
I agree.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, I remember Brother Victor, you probably remember this as well, when Minister Farrakhan spoke at Madison Square Garden in October 1985, I stood up for 3 hours just listening, because it wasn't just him, it was all the brothers and sisters. I had never seen black people like that in person. You know, and it had a profound effect on me, because you never know who's looking. You know, and I was studying how they stood, you know, how they dressed, how sharp they were, because I was looking for an alternative to what I had. Does that make sense? And so when we kind of, if we can put it in the context spiritually, no matter what your specific spiritual path is, that you're here for a finite amount of time. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do with it? And you know, I got nominated for a Grammy in February. It was a beautiful honor. But I'm like, you know, it's only useful if it'll help me to do my work for the people.
All right.
Does that make sense?
All right.
I like you. You all right?
You know what I'm saying? It's only useful if I use it to help people. Because I understand we live in a society that's very materialistic and very status conscious. Like, oh, Kevin, you were on the first season of MTV's The Real World, because I was. Oh, Kevin, you wrote for Bob Magazine and Quincy Jones' Own, and you interviewed Tupac Shakur. Yeah, I did. Oh, Kevin, you ran for Congress twice in New York. Yeah, I did that too. Kevin, you just got nominated for a Grammy. Yeah, I got that too. I'm still Kevin in the Greenville section of Jersey City, who sometimes struggles with depression, sadness.
Can I rephrase my question?
Yeah.
Good friend of mine taught me how to write poetry.
Okay.
Beautiful, amazing, powerful performer.
Yeah.
Victim of gun violence, survived, still hits those stages, still shares her word. She wasn't named the Poet Laureate of Jersey City. She wasn't some Grand Slam champion. She wasn't given all of the access that I was given.
Right.
I think she deserves it. Those voices, those intellectuals, the Mary Rockers on the street corners, the Ida B. Wells in like the preschool right now, those kids that are growing up and have that potential to be great, aren't given that attention, aren't on those stages, aren't on those platforms. What do you have to say to those people that deserve to be heard and aren't being heard? Is there something that we should be doing to make sure that happens?
Yep.
You know?
Kevin Powell would not be sitting here.
Kevin Powell would not be sitting here if it wasn't for Bell Hooks, Audre Lorde, Greg Tate, Harry Allen, there's some Lisa Kennedy, Lisa Jones, Carol Cooper, Barry Michael Cooper. Some of y'all know some of the names I just said. Some of those names you don't know who they are. They all were dynamic writers or are dynamic writers. My responsibility is to remember I didn't get here by myself. It's us. I think, brother, you said in your book, the community. If someone says to me, Brother Kevin, how'd you get here? Well, Lost Number 80, Plainfield, New Jersey, and Reverend Skinner's Church in Newark, New Jersey, and Shirley Powell, my mama, in Jersey City, New Jersey. Does that make sense? I have to acknowledge people. And so, something Dr. King said, brother, this is going to answer your question. At the end of his life, he gave a speech about the Vietnam War. You should check out the speech, A Time for Science. There's a Time for Science. He says that speech to me, a radical revolution of values. My value system is African. 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 What does that mean? If y'all have not noticed tonight, I've shouted out brothers and sisters in the West Indies. I've shouted out black folks down south. I've shouted out African folks. I've thrown out names of people. Because I'm like, the Eurocentric value system is me. That ain't freedom. The African value system is us. It was one of the first things I did when I got up here. I thank God and the ancestors, and I acknowledge the poets and Brother Fleming. I don't go anywhere without acknowledging the people and the elders. You feel what I'm saying? And so how do you do it? You just do it. You know, Toni Morrison said famously, if you see something out there that hasn't happened, you just gotta go create it. You know what I mean? And so you gotta do it, and I gotta do it. You know, I'm gonna remember the poets' names here. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, man, we need to, in Paterson, October, God, locked in my brain. You feel what I'm saying? We gotta be the amplifiers. If black folks, when we were enslaved, there was no TikTok, no Instagram, no Facebook. Y'all feel me? There was nothing. But the Maroons did their thing in Jamaica, and the Haitians did their thing in Haiti, and then you have people like, you know, rebelling in Virginia, for example. How do they know about this if there was no internet? You know, and how did black folks escape from slavery? Because they used their hair sometimes, and they would carve into the hair, or the way they braided the hair, maps on how you get from there to here. Y'all feel me for a second? And so they use their voices in different ways. It's in our songs. You know, we sing different, every voice is the same, but we need to go back and really listen to the lyrics of Swing Low, Sweet Cherry. What would they really say? Those are freedom songs. Those are freedom songs. Those are freedom songs. And so I think that, you know, man, when we were at Juneteenth, me and my wife had a party. They party in Brooklyn on Sunday. They played Kendrick Lamar's They Not Like Us 2 or 3 times. Now, on the surface, it's a diss record about Drake. But underneath it, as folks were chanting it, I was like, Kendrick is actually giving us a couple of different messages here. They not like us. They not like us. What's our value system? Yeah. You feel me? So your value system has to include, let me say their names. Always say their names. Yeah. Always say their names. And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Wright, I went through a lot of survivor's guilt. Like, God, why did I get out the ghetto? And not out of the ghetto, I'm always with the hood. And if you say the names of other people who are poets in Paterson or Jersey City or wherever, they may be like I was when I was 18, 19. I'm like, okay, I got a rocker here. Let me check out these other people they talking about as well. You feel me? Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Does that make sense, y'all? I love Bob Marley. Well, we got Peter Tosh, Jimmy Cliff, Jacob Miller. Am I right, y'all? Rita Marley. You know, say their names so people know. Say their names. Does that answer your question? Yes, sir. Say their names. Say the elder's name. Say the ancestor's name. Say the ancestor's name. Just say it, y'all. Say someone's name. Lordy Powell, that's my grandmother. Say someone's name, y'all.
Yes.
Wow. Say their names. That's your freedom right there. In their lives, in their curry chicken or their fried chicken, you know, in their ackee and codfish, you know what I mean? Or their sweet potatoes or yams is freedom. Am I right, y'all? Brother, the first time I had a bean pie, I was like, oh, I was rocking sweet potato pie, but I was rocking this bean pie too. That's my freedom right there. Say their names. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Another round of applause for Kevin Powell. What a way to start off this meeting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can we give a round of applause for everyone in this room?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is an intimate experience that you only had because you had the agency to decide to leave the room to be here right now. This happened because of you. Let's hope and push other people to keep making the same decisions you all made. I'd like to just quickly say, a mentor of mine taught me this saying. It's called In La Catch. I am me because we are us.
Yes, sir.
I am myself because of the community you are. Same for everyone.
Like I was saying, my name's Rashad, and my name is actually Arabic.
It means someone who is always on the right path. And that's funny, because I'm known for taking more wrong turns than white college students in horror movies. I'm the oldest of 3, so at one point, there were 2 little girls, and they looked just like me, and they had to sit through all my TV shows, so they knew all 152 Pokemon before they knew the alphabet had the last letter. I can run 2 miles in 12 minutes. I can swim a whole lap in a single chewed up breath. And if you give me a bicycle, I can convince a car that was moving at the speed of a skateboard. I don't believe in capital letters. I believe in equal opportunity. I'm pretty sure Tupac is alive and hiding in New Jersey.
And I'll never shower before getting into a pool. Pretty sure it defeats the purpose. I'm my mother's son, so whenever I rise, it's always her shine in my eyes, and she raised my voice Christian. So all these poems have at least one amen in it. Can I get an amen? Amen. Because back in the days, I believed in God. Amen. And then I started believing in myself. Nowadays, I dream so big, I can try believing in both at the same time. Yes, sir. I'm like, kind of allergic to nuts. I wear dog tags. I act like it's a rosary. I know my right side. I don't know my left. I've done more sports than states I've been to. I fight hard and love hard enough to break my own heart in half. I'm ex-National Guard. So I was part-time soldier, full-time, pissed off. I fired more bullets than hands I shook. I had so many guns in my mouth. I could spit out full clips when I love someone. Trust, I hold them with a full grip, and I am bad at lying. And on most days, I'm even worse at dealing with the truth. And the truth is, I feel like a car accident that keeps waking up in the morning, and all of this morning is never done, no matter how many yesterdays I've had. I'm good at so many things, and can do it all with an entire family tree tied behind my back, and still feel like a really small fish spread out to feed an entire table I can escape. Made out of gold, and still confuse it for a pile of rust. I'm a dragon in the knowledge of my own flame. My voice is a fairy tale I'm still learning how to believe in. I hate talking about myself, but I'm really good at the things I hate. And sometimes I'm so hard on myself that tomorrow always feels like a miracle sent to the wrong address. I mean, we all heard the saying, practice makes perfect, and I've had to practice being this broken for so long, you couldn't fix me even if you tried, but I still try, and I try, and I try, and I try, and I try.
Yes. Come on, brother.
But all that aside, my name's Rashad, and y'all have no idea how nice it is to meet you all.
This is called I Belong at the Ritz. Because y'all know we built this country, right? We did, us brown folks, that was us, yep, we did it. I belong at the Ritz with its fancy curtains and keyless entry. I belong there. So do you, and especially you, we belong at the Ritz. Crisp, clean, white sheets, not with face holes cut out, but unbothered, creaseless, divine even. I like my sheets without holes in them. The Ritz-Carlton, the brochure says the gold standard for luxury experiences, an unwavering commitment to service. The police say they serve too. So when I walk by the Ritz, they ask me if I'm lost. I belong there. I belong here on this stolen land. Not more than the Lenape people. This land is their land. From California to the New York Island. They belong at the Ritz for real. With its fancy hotel smell, as if the hoods and ghettos of America don't have a fancy story of their own to tell. With potholed streets, stripped bare of dignity by underfunding the arts and overpaying police. While criticizing the educators, politicians suck dry of integrity, devilish corporate greed, using COVID to justify inflated dreams. Tax breaks for outsiders to overdevelop by any means, raise the rents to heights unseen. The caucasity of these travesties. But as for me, I belong at the Ritz. with my click-clack clogs and breathtaking beach breeze, but the doorman keeps staring at me. He wonders if I'm in the place I should be. I tell him I am. This is my hotel. My people are free. I have a room key and everything. Sometimes you gotta stand against the giant you see, or be relegated to inferiority, then subjugated as the enemy. But it's the Ritz-Carlton, baby, not mama's baby, sickly swaddled between the slacks of the shack out back, while the white baby suckled magic gold dust from her rack. No, not mama's baby, but it's the Ritz, and I belong here with all its splendor and mine, and all its history and mine, and all its amenities. I have quality extras too. Like the fact that I come from a long line of ancestry, from people who made it across the big river, who survived the trip. They didn't jump over, didn't get thrown over, but made it alive to these shores. And I don't know where they came from, but today I get to tell their stories at the Ritz. How they survived and how they didn't die, and how they built this damn hotel, how they made it possible for Mr. Ritz or Mrs. Carlton or whomever to have 5 different fragrances of soap to offer me. I belong at the Ritz, even if it's to tell this story. I belong at the Ritz because the pool is always open, the exercise machines are always clean, pinky finger Danishes washed down with rich, smooth coffee for free, or maybe not. Because after forced labor was suspended permanently, people that look like me finally got a chance to chase the American dream. While the Ritz and the Carlton families already had the jump on generational wealth before me, and before my ancestry that were born before me, that came to this land before me, and before every other person whose sweat built wealth for this country. So now when I stroll up to the Ritz and the doorman opens the door for me, I walk in like I belong there, like I built the place, like I cultivated the land underneath. I yell down the hall just to hear my echo, but instead I hear my ancestry, who force-cooked recipes, even though they first cooked them in a faraway land, and before that got those recipes from their ancestry in that same faraway land, and now they're being cooked in the kitchen at the Ritz. Some salt, a little pepper, a dash of dignity, a pint of pride, mixed Martin and a pot of Panthers, then turned the heat up to hell no. Like my ancestors wouldn't set the city on fire for me to have all the things ever took from them. I ignored the lady walking out with the poodle in her arms and with the chauffeur driver not far behind. She doesn't look my way in the lobby. Her nose is stuck in the air. And she's not great. She's not aging gracefully like me anyway. So I don't really care. I place my card onto the desk. I say, my room, please. It takes a bit for her to find me, so I have time to look around the paint, the architecture, the marble, the annoyed family of 5 waiting behind me. They don't look like me. Maybe they're in a hurry. Maybe they travel 500 miles to catch up to me. Maybe they're tired because every time they turn on the TV, another heist of their culture, another blow to their progress, another dismissal of their history, another bullet to their humanity, and a whole bunch of self-inflicted injuries. No need for me to stare too long at them. Because remember, I was building the Ritz while they were building for their heirs. And I belong at the Ritz. My money is green, just like theirs. Thank you. I belong at the Ritz. My 22-year-old daughter told me, Mom, you can't do that poem at the Ritz. I said, why not? One day maybe I will. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, everyone. I am just honored to be here, sharing space and time with you all. As my brother Rashad Wright, who's never wrong, has told you that, yes, my name is Jacqueline Gillette. I am born and raised here in the city of Paterson. I'm an actor, a poet, a producer, and I'm commissioner on an arts exchange here in the city of Paterson, and part of the great family of Word Seed Inc. And I want to share something with you all. Can I do that?
Yes.
That's cool?
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
On the celebration of Juneteenth, you know, about freedom. And I have a piece I want to share with you all. It's really about imagining about what that can be, but also more importantly about who we can be. So, imagine fully living the dreams of Dr. King. Imagine America with no hate. As I contemplate about what life can be and what life I see, knowing that it's not I, but we. Imagine we shall overcome, we came and won. Just imagine if the movement came and they got it done. Just imagine we gave history respect, taught history correct of the actions of the past and its effects. Imagine no malicious manipulations, chasing for interests and gains, causing stresses and pains. Imagine we commit to justice as a matter of faith. Imagine laws for the planet and humanity's sake. I mean, imagine we didn't treat issues like charities and we worked towards a shared prosperity and disparities were the closing by the day. Full on display, the power of a communal array.
Yes.
I say, no more concentration, hoarding or controlled situations, feeding, resource deprivations. Just imagine we care less about status and we practice erasing the human hierarchical apparatus. Just imagine we fought poverty and we didn't fight the poor.
Come on now. Mercy.
Imagine we solved the core issues that cause wars. Just imagine, instead of sending and dropping baby bombs, we gave everybody's baby some baby bombs. Just imagine all the things we can do, things we can pursue, knowing that the atoms in the universe is in you. Utopia is not real, but a better world we seek. A better world is possible. And a better world is in reach. Just imagine.
I know, 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 I know it won't be long. This is a Black Christian poem that believes in a Black revolutionary Jesus who is reflected in bronze-skinned, woolly-headed Black boys performing the miracle of simply staying alive in every fill-in-the-blank state in North America, and South America, and the Caribbean. In this room, this poem believes in believing. Believes that the second coming has woolly hair too. He might be my bronze-skinned son, or yours. He might be kicking against his mother's bladder. He might be still in his father's body. He might be in a cage at the Texan-Mexican border, which is really the Mexican border. He might be somebody we know, somebody we counted out, somebody we least suspected, somebody we discarded or killed. He could be in prison for being way too Black. Or way too revolutionary. Black Jesus might be that boy standing on the block where church people won't go because we don't believe in making domestic missionary trips on Martin Luther King Boulevard, on Main Street, in the projects. He might live at 237 River Street. He might be standing on the corner in a suit and a bow tie holding a newspaper. He might be in a choir stand. He might be on deck at an open mic. He might be on the Gaza Strip. He might be in a loop that may make him unrecognizable to his neighbors, that may make him, that who may not love him as he so loved the world. He might be in a high school auditorium. Or in this room. He might be waiting for just the right praise, or watching for just the right worship. Like Jesus be effort, revolutionary Jesus is. And I don't know when Black revolutionary Jesus is coming back, but I know it won't be long.
Partners, Mercy Inc., thank you guys very much. I want to acknowledge the Vice President of the Paterson Library Board. Okay. So, Kevin already knows that we're going to be bringing him back.
Oh, thank you.
You know, we already had a conversation on another project, so I might team up. I might team up with the Paterson Housing Authority, right? Because Executive Director Orr Gormington, Commissioner Alford, Paul Alford. I want to thank my team, a lot of staff at the library who helped us set up today, and also that represented us on the Juneteenth celebration this weekend. And on behalf of the Paterson Free Public Library, everybody in attendance is going to get a copy of the book.
Free.
Signed copy of the book, and we're going to take a picture with the So what we're trying to do in Paterson is a little bit different. We're going to continue to move. We're going to continue to move in that direction. Things are going to be different. Things are going to be outside the box, but we're not going to stop. And so I want to thank you guys, and I hope you had a good time tonight.
Just Miss Crystal.
Same here.
Oh, this is Rashad's book. Thank you. And you're from Paterson, right?
Yes, I work for Corby
Oh,
Library.
cool. Oh, cool. Thank y'all for having me so much. I didn't even mention the Cheetah Club, my Cheetah Club days.
Yes, honey.
Good time at the Cheetah Club. Oh my God.
Cheetah Club.
I took it back, right? Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Brother Victor.
What you talking about?
Now that's good.
Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. I'm just gonna flip these chairs and all the time. Is it? I'm sorry, ma'am.
No, you.
Which camera? Oh, okay.
1, 2, and 3.
So, is the Cheetah Club still here?
No.
Is the building still here?
No. Building's still there.
It's still there?
Yes.
What's there now?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Empty.
Wow.
It's empty.
Wow.
You know, that was,
That's late 80s. Where's the 80s?
Yes.
I was house music time. Man, I had a good time at the Cheetah Club.
yes.
Oh my
me
God.
too. That was years ago.
Yes, sir.
But
I'm Kevin, sir.
my name's Harold Williams.
Mr. Williams, pleasure to meet you, sir. Yes, sir. You want a book?
Yeah, I would love a book.
Harold.
Yes, Harold Anthony Williams. Right?
Harold Anthony Williams. Yes, sir.
But
And you're a native of here as well?
yes, I'm from Paterson.
Pleasure to meet you. What high school?
I went to Eastside.
So East Side's in the building? Paterson East Side's in the building? Yeah! Any Paterson Catholic folks? Yeah! Is there Kennedy here too? Is there Kennedy High School? Yes. That's right. I ran tracks. I remember all your schools from Paterson. Yeah.
For whatever reason, I ended up here this afternoon. I was on my way home from work. They had like a Juneteenth thing at City Hall. And, I was just good to do that. Yeah. And I said, I'm glad that I came too.
Wow.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. You know why I came?
Yes, sir.
Because I asked this brother. I said, Bilal, who is this brother right here?
Wow.
And he said that this is the brother that you go sit and listen to.
Oh wow.
You know,
All
I'm
praise be
serious.
to God. Thank you, sir.
So
Wow. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Miss Renee. Appreciate you.
Okay.
I would love to
All right,
exchange
so
numbers with
connect
you.
to- Yep, okay.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you for the space.
Yep, yeah, no
Thank you.
problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next? Oh, the poets. The poets. Real quick.
Sorry, guys. Jaquir got to go to work. God bless you.
Thank you
God
so much.
bless you.
Thank you.
Can somebody help me with
Okay, hold on. We gotta put the book in the middle. I mean, you know.
Yes,
Right.
yes, and you got to get in the middle. Yep.
I appreciate y'all.
Lean them, come on this side. Yep.
Please keep doing what y'all doing. Seriously, y'all are amazing, 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 amazing. I was so fired up listening. Serious.
Glad that worked out. I know, I'm glad it worked out.
So, right. All right.
And nothing else.
Education.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Read.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just flip this over this way.
Okay.
Oh.
Every finds out really a profession.
Oh, y'all somebody.
Here you go.
That's a beautiful picture. Yeah. Somebody put this out on the website.
And I'm gonna sign books for all y'all. I got Brother Rashad. Can I give y'all each a book? Is it F-E-L-I?
F-E-L-I-C-I.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother Powell. I
What did it take you to write that poem? That's an epic poem.
Thank you. It was inspired by one of Queen's poems.
For you, it says to a great poet.
Thank you so much. God bless you, my brother. Thank you for all
And
you
are
do.
you from Paterson originally?
I am. Rosa Parks.
There's a lot of talent in this city. A lot of talent in this city.
God bless you. Thank you.
So much. I'll see y'all in October, God willing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Spell your first name for me, brother.
Jacquair, J-A-Q-U-A-I-R.
Okay, let me get that right. There's no more. Can you pass me that one book right there, brother? Thank you, sister. Appreciate you. 1 second, brother.
Man, appreciate you as well.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
You got a great voice as well.
Oh, thank you. No, I mean, yeah, coming from, you know, I mean, yeah, I've been watching you since like the Beef series,
wow.
Unsung, everything. That's why I'm like, wow.
Thank you, brother. J-A-Q-U. Yes, sir.
A-I-R.
A-I-R. It's a great name.
Appreciate it. Well, thank my mom.
Sister, a great poet as well.
Are you on? I'll see you on Instagram, right?
Yeah, it's poet Kevin Powell on Instagram.
Gotcha.
I got hacked a month ago, so I had to start all over again.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. They like took everything.
Hackers, man, I swear.
Yeah, man. Brother, stay in touch.
Thank you. Well,
and you have ebooks out.
I sure
Send me
do.
a private message so I can order
got
them.
you.
I'll order them. Is they on like Amazon or something?
Everywhere except Amazon.
Okay, I like that. I like that. But and the streaming of your music too with poetry.
Yes, yeah.
Send me a link.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah.
The nature.
That's a great name. That's your name by birth?
Yes.
That's a lot more exciting than Kevin. I love that name.
Thank
Where are you from?
I'm from here.
Pleasure. And what do you do? Thank you. Thank you. I love libraries. Man, sign this for you. Just give me 1 second to get the spelling right. That little show?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Were you in school back then or? Okay. Did you go to college in Jersey or?
No, I don't go to college.
That's all right. That's all right. But you are a reader, clearly.
Yes.
Thank you. And how do you spell your name?
S-E-N-A-T-R-A.
So it's like Frank Sinatra with the E. Is that who you named after?
I don't know. My grandma.
Wow.
My grandma named me.
It's almost like Sinatra. I love it. Very nice to meet you and thank you for
Same
coming.
here.
I hope
Thank
it made
you.
some sense today.
Yeah.
Are we taking a picture? Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Got it.
Thank you so much.
You wanted to get a picture?
Got it. Thank you, Steve. Is it with PH or a V? V. Nice to meet you, brother. You went to Kennedy. You were in the Kennedy. Pleasure to meet you, brother. What do you do here?
Work with the Paterson Library for 18 years.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for your work, sir. And thank you for being out here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. You want to take a photo as well?
It's real. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. Steven. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I love the outfit.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Sheila Blythe.
Where are you from?
Jamaica originally.
What parish?
Kingston.
Kingston.
Yeah.
Much respect to you.
Much respect to you.
How long have you been in the States?
About 40 years.
Oh,
I'm
is this...
52 now, so you know.
But you're only 27.
I'm 27, yeah.
Wow. Do you go back home often?
Not that often, but regular. Every 2
Okay.
years we go back.
What do you like to fly now? Because do you fly JetBlue or other airlines?
No, I fly JetBlue.
Yeah, I love JetBlue. I am, and my wife and I are in love with Jamaica.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He said, how do you spell it?
Sheila.
And he said, Miss Sheila Blight.
Blythe.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. I love this.
Thank you so much.
Very.
It's a pleasure being here with you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
You want to take a photo? This one, okay. So is there carnival in Paterson, like in Brooklyn? Is there carnival? One more. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Blight. Nice to meet you. How are you? I'm Kevin. What's your name? Iman. That's a good name.
Thank you.
I-M-A-N?
Yep.
And what do you do?
I work in insurance. I just live here.
What company?
I work for Insurance Broker USI.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm a State Farm guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm in farmers insurance. I have stuff too.
Oh, okay. So you're in a company.
Okay. Is it national or is it state? Is it state?
Oh, yeah, it's national.
Okay, I thought so. And you're from here?
Yep, from Paterson.
What high school did you go to?
Oh, I went to Rosa Park, so we didn't have sports.
So there's a school called Rosa Parks here?
High school.
It's like
Fine and Performing Arts.
It's a performing arts high school.
Yeah.
That's dope. What did you do?
I played the clarinet.
Do you still play?
Not anymore, but I did play all through college. I majored in music.
Where'd you go to school?
William Paterson.
William Paterson.
Yeah.
Did you you read music? You read music too?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great gift to have. You should keep playing. You should. Did it bring you peace?
It did bring me peace. I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna say to the musicians.
Oh, thank you.
So when we did the album, man, I worked with jazz musicians, classical musicians, reggae musicians, old school soul musicians. We kind of brought everything together. Yeah, it was an exciting. It's on all stream platforms. Grocery Shopping with My Mother is the name of it.
I'll find it.
Keep playing, please. Absolutely.
Can you write that?
Sure. So Rosa Parks is Performing Arts High School here.
Yes.
And then there's Cicely Tyson in East Orange.
Yeah.
East Orange. Wow, that's dope. When I was in school, we didn't have that. I'm like, this is beautiful. 1, 2, and 3. One more. I didn't know I was an artist until way after high school. I was like, oh, that's what I am. Yeah. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you so much. Play that clarinet. Are you a jazz fan? Classical fan?
Classical mostly.
So you listen to WQXR?
Yes, I do.
I love QXR. It's a pleasure. What's your name?
Dolores.
Beautiful. My brother. Very nice to meet you all.
Pleasure, man.
How long have you been in Paterson?
44 years.
Wow, this is home.
Yeah. Yes.
So 1980.
Yes.
80.
Yeah,
Wow.
80. Yes. 80.
Wow. And you're with the library. No, you're
I'm the
on the
vice
board.
president of the board.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you. Thank you for your
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
And you're right about messaging. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you for saying that. Wow. Should I sign it to both of you?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Sorry. So today's June 18th, 2024. Spell your name for me.
Delores.
Lores. Is it ERR?
OL.
Yes, sir.
That's in Errol Flynn.
Are you both from Antigua? Like Errol Flynn? Yes.
We're both from Antigua Bay.
Wow. You know, it's my wife's from California, so she had never been to the West Indies, being on the West Coast. And so when we got together, she's just like, I have to be around my people.
Yeah.
And that's like the West Indies is where you go.
Yeah.
That's where you have to go. And she just fallen in love. So we drive. I'm the designated driver because she doesn't want to drive. So
Like myself.
yeah, I love driving Jamaica. I love it. And I just, it's just, you know, yeah, I ain't got to tell y'all the history.
Yeah.
The history. And I meant what I said. It's like I didn't know anything, and it's like college. You know, I learned so much. It's just like I got to learn the whole diaspora. It's important, you know. And then living in Brooklyn. I mean, Brooklyn is the West Indies.
Yeah, a university by itself.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
You get everything.
Yeah. But then when I went to the UK first time, I was like, I'm meeting folks. I was like, you're from Jamaica. You're from Nigeria. You're from Barbados. I was like, we are everywhere. We are everywhere.
Diaspora spread all around.
Yes. Do y'all want to take a picture?
Yes,
sure.
You should be in the middle. You're the queen.
Okay.
Very nice to meet you all. I'll move over. Oh, the sign. Step and repeat. Thank you.
One more.
Yes, no problem. Here we go. 2 and 3. We'll need music. We miss, we think about Scotch today. Nice to meet you. I'm Kevin.
Zakia.
Zakia, pleasure to meet you. Well, what do you do?
Retired teachers.
Thank you. How many years?
Retired. I retired in 2014.
Wow. Wow. Very nice to meet you. What did you teach?
Rutgers.
You went to Rutgers?
Yeah, went to Rutgers Newark.
Okay.
Transferred to Rutgers in New Brunswick.
You did both campuses. Well, 2 to 3 campuses. I loved it. So you lived in the dorms then?
Yes.
Wow.
Livingston.
I lived in the towers in Livingston.
Yeah, okay. Now I live in the quads.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Quads was
Quads was no joke.
Remember the drums?
Mm-hmm.
Remember? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they shut it down because of the drums. It was like, yeah, remember?
That's right.
They shut it down.
Did you go to parties at Tillett Hall? Great Tillett Hall. Wow. How do you? Is it Z?
Z-A. K.
K.
Z-A-K. Zakia. I-Y-A.
Ah, thank you so much, Mr. Zakia. Taking pictures. Your husband?
My husband. I met my husband.
At Rutgers. Oh my gosh.
He transferred from Morehouse.
That was a blessing. It says to a great educator.
That's my daughter. You just. The clarinet is upstairs in the case in the attic. Did she tell you that?
Yeah, my wife went to performing arts high school. She played 2 instruments. I thought, you got to do it again.
Yeah, I'm
I just think that we need joy in every way we can. We love doing it.
Thank you so much.
So you had one child, or you had more children?
My son is Zoe Thomas.
Wow. Nice to meet y'all. Are we gonna do a photo? I'm sorry. You want a photo? Thank you. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't even looking at your. Can you do that again? For Mom. I was looking at his camera. My bad.
Thank you so much.
Okay. One more.
Go, Mom. Get in there. Thank you.
My wife's mother taught science for 40 years. What did you teach?
I taught in elementary school.
Wow.
Everything.
Okay.
K to 8. Everything. Remember that back then it was
You had to
like
do everything.
Yeah, it wasn't departmentalized
That
yet.
means you're a Renaissance woman.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love it. Kevin, please.
I know you are Kevin. I knew you as a baby.
Wait a minute.
On TV. You don't know
Okay,
me.
I'm thinking, wait, do we know each other in Jersey? Where are you from?
Paterson.
P-Town.
But I saw you since you were a child on that show.
That little TV show?
Yeah, it wasn't little.
Little thing.
Me and my little family sit around and watch it. All my kids, my
Wow.
husband, my mother.
What's your name?
Kim.
It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Is it K-I or
too.
K-Y?
K-I-M.
Wow.
You are the same. That voice is the same.
Is it?
That same speaking truth to power. I remember you would get in their neck and I was like, ooh. I would be like, my baby, my baby.
Wow.
You know, because you were like mine. You were representing me on television.
Wow. Thank you.
So good to see you
It's
here
good to see
and
you.
still doing your thing.
I'm trying to do the best I can.
Yes,
Thank
you
God.
are.
Thank
I just got
God.
off the phone with my mother. She was like, you usually call me. I'm like, no, Mom, at the event. She said, oh, he's there. I said,
Yes,
he
ma'am.
is."
Tell her I said hello.
I will.
You want to call her right now?
I was going to have her on the phone.
Let's do it. K-I-M.
K-I-M. Call her back so she can speak to you.
What should I miss what? What should I call her?
Miss Millie.
Miss Millie. Thank you so much.
We're both nurses.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
My nurses were in my family. Thank you for your service.
Yes.
Blessings to you.
And she was she nursed at the jail.
Wow. Wow.
And she got me to go to the jail and be a nurse. So now she's retired and down south.
She's home.
She's home. She's down south.
What state?
North Carolina.
Okay.
South Carolina, Camden.
Oh, she's in Camden. I know
That's where my
Camden.
family's from.
Yeah.
That's Camden? Yeah. Look at that.
You know Millie? You know Millie Green? Millie Belton?
No, I mean, my
Did you go to
father's
East
family's
Side?
from there. Yeah.
Oh, she
Oh,
did
yeah,
too.
yeah.
You know Joe Fulcher?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
my father.
Wow.
You see? She's like, wait a minute. Yeah, Fulcher's have a pharmacy and a liquor store in Paterson.
Wow.
So a lot of people know.
Was it called that name?
Fulcher's Pharmacy, yeah.
Fulcher's Pharmacy. Wow.
So a lot of people know
Okay.
Joey and Millie.
They're entrepreneurs.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
But my mother got me into the nursing thing.
Good for her. And then you love helping people.
I love helping people and I love the money that it gives me so I can take care of me and mine.
That's right. You honest about it because we
You know?
need a little capital.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I have 2 girls and a boy. I'm so glad to meet you.
It's an honor to meet you, Miss Kim. Wow.
Same face.
Wow.
Same person, but grown now.
A little bit grown. Trying to be grown. Doing my best.
That's right.
Married.
I know, you said your wife.
I love her.
Wait, and I'm sitting up there like, wife, he's a baby.
No, I ain't that young.
I remember him as a baby.
Can you put it on speakerphone?
She didn't answer.
It's all right. You gonna be here for a minute? You want to try again?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again.
Do you want to do a photo?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Love your locks. How long you been growing them?
About 26 years.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Miss Kim.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think this is her trying to call me.
Assalamu alaikum, my key. Brother Victor. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hold on. This is her. Miss Mary.
Hey, ma'am, this is Kevin Powell. I'm Kim's new friend. How are you? My family's from South Carolina, from Jasper County down by Savannah. Yes, sir. Yeah, she told me. God bless you. I just want to say hello to you. That's what she said. When I had hair. I had hair back then, too.
Yes.
It's good to hear your voice. Can you say a prayer for me one day, all right? I appreciate you, because it's hard out in these streets. I appreciate you. Yes,
She knows
ma'am.
it from the jail. She knows.
I promise her, Miss Millie. God bless you. I just wanted to say hello to you. Thank you, ma'am. Great to hear your voice. Thank you, Miss Kim.
Wonderful.
God bless you. Thank you. You'll see me in Paterson again, God willing.
Good.
This has been too long. I gotta get back.
Brother, thank you for
Brother,
coming.
thank you.
Let me say something.
Yes, sir. And it's VICTOR, is that right?
Yes.
Brother Victor.
If I had saw this at B. Dalton Noble's best-selling, it'd have made me pick the book up. I don't know who designed this, but but it made me pick the book up. So number one, Muhammad said, Allah said, I wasn't there. He said, first thing he said was read. So if that's the case, and I thank you for coming, man.
Oh, thank you.
This young lady here invited me.
It's all right.
Middletown. And I'm a percussionist. And I just happened
you're
to come
percussionist?
through. Yeah,
Wow.
I just came through Paterson and I saw Benjamin. But I tell you, brother, thank you.
Thank you.
So very much.
Thank
And
you,
tell
brother.
your mother
Yes, sir.
that she met a man there that she didn't have, but I love her like.
Wow.
No, because what
Thank
she's
you.
done for you.
Yes, sir.
You don't know how many people you touched throughout these books, man.
Wow, thank you, brother.
I'm talking millions of brothers. I know, and I'm sending this piece, not this one. I want you to sign this one, but I'm gonna tell my brother in Morehouse to pick this book up.
Yes, sir.
And the first thing I read when I turned the page was education.
Yeah.
It's easy reading, man. If you just pick the book up and take your time to read it, it's so.
Thank
it's
you,
just,
brother.
I don't want to put the book down. I gotta go home, but I don't. It's just. How long did it take you to do the book, brother?
This one was a year. Some of them will take a few years. It just depends. This one was a year to put together because this is collected writing, so it was a little bit easier. Some of them will take 5, 6 years. Some will take them 10 years. It just depends. It says Assalamu alaikum to my brother.
And this is what you want to do. You.
As a little boy. As a little boy.
My daughter-in-law, she wanted to be a doctor when she was a little girl, and she graduated Richmond, and she's a doctor.
Wow.
Brother, I love you.
Love you too, brother.
I seen you before. I just didn't put the name.
It's all right.
'Cause I remember Kadir and all of them. We still running. Your face has always been very familiar.
Well, when I was at 80, Brother Kareem was there.
Yeah.
Brother Gary was there. Brother Dave Muhammad, who works at Rasper Rock in Newark, was there.
Raz, that's my man.
Yeah,
Raz, good brother.
We brought the minister to our school when I was at Rutgers. We would bring a lot of folks from school to Temple Mount
I'm
Number
telling
80.
you, I know who you are now.
Yes, sir. Yes,
your
sir.
face.
Yeah.
I knew you on 42nd Street with 40,000 people. I wouldn't have known your name, but
Yes,
that
sir.
face is universal.
You probably knew
God
brothers.
bless you, brother.
You knew New York brothers as well.
Yes.
Brother Kevin, who passed a couple years ago. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that's my man. Bro.
Yeah, we still do a lot of stuff together. Yeah, in New York. Yeah.
Well, thank you, my brother.
No.
Continue doing what you're doing.
Thank
Don't
you,
stop.
brother.
I don't give a damn what they do.
Brother.
Live Islam.
Yes, sir.
Of course. Do anything else, be uncivilized.
Thank you, brother.
1, 2, and 3. Stay still. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful.
Be safe in your travels. I
Thank
love
you,
you,
brother.
brother. We'll be seeing each other again.
Assalamu alaikum. Hey, I'm Kevin.
Hi, I'm Linda Hicks.
Nice pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
What do you do?
I actually coach the kids.
You're a union.
Well, it just so happened I was wearing the shirt today.
Okay.
But I'm an educator. I
Thank
just
you.
got my principal certification.
Oh, you're a
Not too
principal.
bad. Yeah.
We're in Paterson?
I was in Paterson. 17 years. Now I'm in Newark.
What school?
I'm at Midwig, but I'm probably going to West Side.
Okay, as the principal.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
It's really nice to meet you. Now, where are you from?
I'm from Paterson. I went to Paterson Catholic.
You went to Paterson?
Yeah, I know Benji really, really well. He was like my buddy. My dad was the first black alderman of the city of Paterson.
Who's your father?
William Hicks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I studied politics at Rutgers, so I would learn about the issue of black elected officials in the state. It's very nice to meet you.
Such a pleasure. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you for coming here. And I was saying I wish I had more of my players here so they could come in.
Oh, you coached here, you just said?
Yeah, I coached the men's volleyball team here. I started it here.
I love
I got
volleyball.
some 6'7" brothers on the team.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They bypass
playing
basketball?
volleyball, not basketball.
Wow.
But I'm gonna tell you, I was a basketball head growing up.
So you played?
And I found volleyball in high school.
Mm.
And I got a full scholarship for volleyball.
Where'd you
I
go
was
to
first
school?
in my class. Well, I got into Notre Dame, South Bend, Indiana.
Wow.
And then I decided, I was 15, I was a baby.
You went there as a 15-year-old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I never told anybody my age because I didn't want them to like, you know, treat me different.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother was like not happy because my dad passed away. And I said, you know what? I want to come back home. And I want to play two sports, Muhlenberg and PA. So they'd give me the full scholarship.
Wow.
And take my brother.
I love
so I
it.
wound up graduating there. And
This is two of you and him?
Two of us younger and my
Okay.
older sisters. Yeah, Patty and Shakita.
Wow.
Yeah.
You had a story.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. I share it with the kids and tell them they can do anything.
I want to come to your school and speak when you settle your next school.
Yes, I
and
love
we
to.
have a film coming out. Raps Rock is actually a film. It's a documentary about black manhood. We have 5 generations of black males in it, from teenagers to 90-something. And we've got a study, and our resource guide has already been created by educators, and we're going to be taking it all around the country. So
Really?
yeah, the DOE in New York is already picking it up, so we're going to be bringing it to different places. So we should exchange numbers.
Yeah, definitely.
And what should I call you? Is it doctor? Is it Miss?
Call me Linda.
Linda.
Linda, yeah.
Yes,
Forget, I don't the degrees, you know. They're like temperatures. I got a bunch, but.
I respect that, though. You earned those things.
Yeah, definitely, but you know.
Wow. You know, it's volleyball to me is one of the greatest workouts I've ever had. It's intense.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it more than basketball. People probably wouldn't know.
Wow.
But once I found it, that was it.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And I play a lot when we go to Jamaica. My wife's like, there
Really?
you go, volleyball court again.
Oh, it's awesome. It is awesome.
It says to a great educator and leader that you are.
You know what? I graduated, and I'm going to set that up because there are hundreds of young people that would love to hear from you.
Thank you. I go to schools all the time, so let's make it happen. This is my home state, so I will do
I'll give
it.
you my direct cell.
I can give you mine. You can just.
Yeah.
Is that an iPhone? Two and three. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Linda. But are you a doctor?
Actually, I'm about to be a doctor.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Like my whole family has a doctor, so I figured, you know what, I might as well finish up.
Let me tell you, so the film we have 70 black males in there. About 15 are doctors. I think it's important to highlight our people and our education. You know, I know I was mentored by Bell Hooks. She would never use Dr. Bell Hooks, but I'm like, Bell, you earned that. And she said to me this was a necessary tool in my toolbox. And I always remember that.
Yeah.
So you earned
my,
that.
My mother never said it. I didn't know she was a doctor.
Really?
Yeah, my mother never said it. My sister's a doctor. Like a lot of people in my family.
You earned it. You earned it. And I respect y'all. So I will be calling you Dr. Linda.
I appreciate
I want
you.
to come to your school next year. Let's do it for next academic year.
We'll make it happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Irma Gorham.
I or E?
I.
R-M-A.
Yeah.
Thank you for your words. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you so
no,
much.
Kevin, I saw that picture. I said, I'm going.
Thank you. I remember that conference. I remember not having any books.
Yeah,
Being mad.
it was. Yeah, he was saying, I don't have any books. We were going, you don't have any books? What's wrong with him?
I thought I was just going in and out of the conference. I didn't know.
It was so powerful.
Because what y'all do, there's so many kind of conferences. I didn't know that existed. I was like, this is dope.
Yeah, it was great. It was wonderful.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know until I came to the board. I did not know that there was a place like that.
So I thank you for coming today. I thought, even when I was talking to Kevin that day, I said, oh, you got to come to Paterson. And you said, I've done some stuff with Sharon Easton.
That's right.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I would say, okay, let me step back. That's what I said to my chief.
We felt y'all.
Yeah,
we felt y'all.
we felt it. It was just like, wow, I needed this today.
Says to our beautiful sister and human being, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so much. Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do you want to take a picture too?
Yeah, well.
Are you from Paterson as well?
Come inside. Are you? Hey, I'm looking.
You were talking earlier, you mentioned the dynamic speaker.
Yes,
that's something I'm afraid of becoming.
You're a dope speaker.
Appreciate it. But my point is, for example, I've used two art forms, poetry and performance. Performance means I know how to command a room, I know how to gather attention towards myself and what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
I think a lot of people have that same skill set, but not necessarily anything that needs to be communicated or is helpful for the community that's listening to them. You, as someone that I see and perceive as an intellectual, someone with a message, something with something to contribute. How did you push yourself, or what got you so much attention? How do you gather attention? I think there are a lot of intellectuals out there, a lot of leaders in our community that don't have access to a stage, attention, space, or have people listening to them like we do.
Wow. That's totally right.
Well, can I just keep it 100 with y'all?
Please.
I'm actually not comfortable with a lot of attention. I'm not. My wife's an introvert. I'm very much an introvert. I remember when I was a kid, some of y'all who are older here might remember Michael Jackson said the only place he felt comfortable was on the stage.
Yeah, right.
I don't necessarily, I'm like a reluctant voice, out of necessity. Because I feel like, I've experienced certain things at different points in my life when I was a youth, even now as an older person, and I feel like I have something to offer. But I'm also very wary of being someone who's just a media whore. You know what I mean? Who's just out there for attention. Bell Hooks, who I love, one of my mentors, used to say to me all the time, you gotta be careful being addicted to the fame plantation. Right. The fame plantation, the fame plantation. I'm very conscious of that. So man, me and my wife are out of Juneteenth celebrations in Brooklyn, man. We just we in the cut with everybody else. I'm not trying to be on nobody's stage. I'm not trying to say, can I get a shout out? None of that stuff, I think you have to stay grounded. Some of us are called. I mean, again, I'm going to keep giving the poets props. I'm going to give Brother Fleming props. Some people are called in a certain kind of way. You got to follow, am I right, y'all? You got to follow that calling. You know what I mean? And so you do that, but you also have to remember that this ain't about you. We're vessels. We're vessels. I remember when I got to the end of the autobiography of Malcolm X, I didn't know that he had been killed until I got to the end of the book the first time. And I started crying when I put the book down. I'm 18, 19 years old. I'm a kid, basically, but I remember saying to myself, man, his life was given so that I could be here. And so I'm like, that's what I look at it. While I'm here, I hope to live a long life, Brother Wright, but how long or short I got, I just want to be of use to other people. Does that make sense?
I agree.
You know what I mean? And so, I remember Brother Victor, you probably remember this as well, when Minister Farrakhan spoke at Madison Square Garden in October 1985, I stood up for 3 hours just listening, because it wasn't just him, it was all the brothers and sisters. I had never seen black people like that in person. And it had a profound effect on me, because you never know who's looking. And I was studying how they stood, how they dressed, how sharp they were, because I was looking for an alternative to what I had. Does that make sense? And so if we can put it in the context spiritually, no matter what your specific spiritual path is, that you're here for a finite amount of time. You know what I mean? What are you going to do with it? And I got nominated for a Grammy in February. It was a beautiful honor. But I'm like, it's only useful if it'll help me to do my work for the people.
All right.
Does that make sense?
All right.
I like you. You all right?
You know what I'm saying? It's only useful if I use it to help people. Because I understand we live in a society that's very materialistic and very status conscious. Like, oh, Kevin, you won the first season of MTV's The Real World, because I was. Oh, Kevin, you wrote for Bob Magazine and Quincy Jones' Own, and you interviewed Tupac Shakur. Yeah, I did. Oh, Kevin, you ran for Congress twice in New York. Yeah, I did that too. Kevin, you just got nominated for a Grammy. Yeah, I got that too. I'm still Kevin in the Greenville section of Jersey City. who sometimes struggles with depression, sadness.
Can I rephrase my question?
Yeah.
Good friend of mine taught me how to write poetry.
Okay.
Beautiful, amazing, powerful performer.
Yeah.
Victim of gun violence, survived, still hits those stages, still shares her word. She wasn't named the Poet Laureate of Jersey City. She wasn't some Grand Slam champion. She wasn't given all of the access that I was given.
Right.
I think she deserves it. Those voices, those intellectuals, the Mary Rockers on the street corners, the Ida B. Wells in like the preschool right now, those kids that are growing up and have that potential to be great, aren't given that attention, aren't on those stages, aren't on those platforms. What do you have to say to those people that deserve to be heard and aren't being heard? Is there something that we should be doing to make sure that happens?
Yep.
You know?
Kevin Powell would not be sitting here. Kevin Powell
Kevin Powell would not be sitting here if it wasn't for Bell Hooks, Audre Lorde, Greg Tate, Harry Allen, there's some Lisa Kennedy, Lisa Jones, Carol Cooper, Barry Michael Cooper. Some of y'all know some of the names I just said. Some of those names you don't know who they are. They all were dynamic writers or are dynamic writers. My responsibility is to remember I didn't get here by myself. It's us. I think, brother, you said in your book, the community. If someone says to me, Brother Kevin, how'd you get here? Well, Mosque number 80, Plainfield, New Jersey, and Reverend Skinner's Church in Newark, New Jersey, and Shirley Powell, my mama, in Jersey City, New Jersey. Does that make sense? I have to acknowledge people. And so, something Dr. King said, brother, this is going to answer your question. At the end of his life, he gave a speech about the Vietnam War. Y'all should check out the speech, A Time for Silence. There's a Time for Silence. He says that speech made a radical revolution of values. My value system is African. 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 What does that mean? If y'all have not noticed tonight, I'll shout out brothers and sisters in the West Indies. I'll shout out black folks down south. I'll shout out African folks. I've thrown out names of people. Because I'm like, the Eurocentric value system is me. That ain't freedom. The African value system is us. It was one of the first things I did when I got up here. I thank God and the ancestors, and I acknowledge the poets and Brother Fleming. I don't go anywhere without acknowledging the people and the elders. You feel what I'm saying? And so how do you do it? You just do it. You know, Toni Morrison used to say famously, if you see something out there that hasn't happened, you just gotta go create it. You know what I mean? And so you gotta do it, and I gotta do it. You know, I'm gonna remember the poets' names here. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, man, we need to, in Paterson, October, God, locked in my brain. You feel what I'm saying? We gotta be the amplifiers. If black folks, when we were enslaved, there was no TikTok, no Instagram, no Facebook. Y'all feel me? There was nothing. But if the Maroons did their thing in Jamaica, and the Haitians did their thing in Haiti, and then you have people like, you know, rebelling in Virginia, for example, how do they know about this if there was no internet? You know, and how did black folks escape from slavery because they used their hair sometimes, and they would carve into the hair, or the way they braided the hair, maps on how you get from there to here. Y'all feel me for a second? And so they use their voices in different ways. It's in our songs. You know, we sing different, every voice the same, but we need to go back and really listen to the lyrics of Swing Low, Sweet Cherry. What were they really saying? Those are freedom songs. Those were freedom songs. And so I think that, even, man, when we were at Juneteenth, you know, like at a party, big party in Brooklyn on Sunday, they played Kendrick Lamar, They Not Like Us, 2 or 3 times. Now, on the surface, it's a diss record about Drake. But underneath it, as folks were chanting it, I was like, Kendrick is actually giving us a couple of different messages here. They not like us. They not like us. What's our value system? Yeah. You feel me? So your value system has to be include, let them say their names. Always say their names. Yeah. Always say their names. And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Wright, I went through a lot of survivor's guilt. Like, God, why did I get out the ghetto? And not out of the ghetto, I'm always with the hood. And if you say the names of other people who are poets in Paterson or Jersey City or wherever, they may be like I was when I was 18, 19. I'm like, okay, I got a rocker here. We need to check out these other people they talking about as well. Yep. You feel me? Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Does that make sense, y'all? I love Bob Marley, but we got Peter Tosh, Jerry Cliff, Jacob Miller. Am I right, y'all? Rita Marley. You know? Say their names so people know. Say their names. Does that answer your question? Yes, sir. Say their names. Say the elder's name. Say the ancestor's name. Say the ancestor's name. Just say it, y'all. Say someone's name. Marty Powell, that's my grandmother. Say someone's name, y'all. Wow. Say their names. That's your freedom right there. In their lives, in their curry chicken or their fried chicken, you know, in their ackee and codfish, you know what I mean? Or their sweet potatoes or yams is freedom. Am I right, y'all? Brother, the first time I had a bean pie, I was like, oh, I was rocking sweet potato pie, but I was rocking this bean pie too. That's my freedom right there. Say their names. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all.